Aviva Premiership Rugby players may strike over plans to expand the season. Union boss Damian Hopley yesterday acknowledged a walkout was a live option if the club owners pressed ahead with the controversial proposal to extend from 9 to 10 months in 2020. The scheme has some support at board level where Premiership clubs are trying to narrow an anticipated £30 million cumulative loss this season, but it has been met with anger by the players. England full-back Mike Brown called it ridiculous, while the likes of Billy Vunipola, Ben Youngs and captain Dylan Hartley, who described it as not welcome, joined the criticism. The fact you've had a number of players speaking out unprompted just shows you the strength of feeling amongst the players, said Hopley, the Rugby Players Association chief executive at a Leaders in Sport conference in London. We were very disappointed that the league didn't engage us at all about this. It was presented as a fait accompli. Premiership Rugby and their clubs are now sitting up and taking notice. Strike action is obviously an option and it's the ultimate sanction, but the last people the players would want to disengage or disavow would be the fans. There's enough common sense and grey hair around the table to try to find the right solution. While the Premiership hierarchy insists the switch to a season running from September to the end of June will not see any player exceed the current 32-game ceiling, the impact it will have on internationals in particular, whose season would extend to the end of July, would be debilitating. If you look at the season now, there aren't really any down weekends. Every week is a massive game, said England's second row Joe Launchbury. To try to expand that and make the season longer with less rest period is hard to see from a player's point of view. They are long seasons already, and having that 5-week rest which the RPA fought extremely hard for is important to get away from rugby and then come back fully recharged to go again. The strike threat comes at a time when player welfare is high on the agenda, with the Premiership in the middle of an injury epidemic. Law changes that have opened the game up have also brought a 10% increase in tackles and 8% spike in rucks, the areas where most injuries occur. It's a big concern. The players are going down in droves, said Hopley. 5 weeks into the Premiership season the quality has been through the roof. It's just whether that's sustainable. We're all crying out for less, rather than more, at the moment. Harlequins are one of the clubs hardest hit with 17 players injured, and they will also have to do without Lions prop Kyle Sinckler for the next 7 weeks after his eye-gouging ban. It has been a nightmare few months for Sinckler since the elation of being part of the Lions test squad in the drawn series against the All Blacks. He was arrested in Auckland in the early hours after the third test after what police described as a minor disorder, and then lost his place in the England squad last month. Then came Tuesday night's ban for what the RFU disciplinary panel judged an intentional gouge on Northampton's Michael Patterson after an initial attempt to remove Patterson's scrum cap grew much more serious. A 7-week ban is at the lower end of the scale for this sort of offence, but the panel took into account compelling character references from coaches at the very highest level of the game and the fact that Patterson, who complained of blurred vision after the game, did not sustain more serious damage. The panel accepted that the player's original motivation in putting his hands near to the head of the victim was to remove his scrum cap and therefore delay his ability to take part in the ongoing game. Having successfully removed the scrum cap, he then reached forward with his fingers one final time and intentionally made contact with the eye, said the report. Whilst any contact with the eye, or eye area, carries the potential for serious harm to be caused, the panel felt that this particular offense was one which merited a low-end entry point because there was, thankfully, no injury caused and little to no force was applied to the eye during the fleeting contact. The RFU will not be appealing the ban. European champion Saracens look to have missed out on signing Rhys Webb, with the Wales scrum half set to join Toulon next season after a decade